Hello there and welcome to the Advanced Administrator webinar today. My name is Randy Blatt. I am a Customer Success Manager here with Jazz, and I will be walking you through some of the advanced features within Jazz today, taking a deeper dive into some certain areas within Jazz. I want to thank everyone for attending. Appreciate you spending some time with us here today. If you are new to Jazz at this point in your onboarding, you should have your first call completed with our team. You should also have completed the Starter Administrator webinar as well. So hopefully you've accomplished that. If you have not, please do so. Feel free to reach out to us directly to get a call scheduled with our team. So we're going to take a look at the agenda for today and some topics that we're going to cover. We are going to review templates and walk through the template section, the different kinds of templates and the importance of each within Jazz. We'll take a look at the different integration options offered by Jazz and also take a deeper dive into interviews. We'll walk through completing an interview guide and what that looks like. We'll take a look at the hosted careers page. Every Jazz account comes with a hosted career page, and we'll also discuss some website integration options with Jazz and your career page. We will take a quick peek into reporting and show some of the really beneficial reports offered within the system. And finally, we'll walk through creating an offer letter and sending out an e-signature and requiring an electronic signature from our candidate. So I like to touch on our support resources. We have a ton of them out there, and I'll point them out here inside the application in just a second. But if you ever need help, success.jazz.co, that is our knowledge base, basically a self-serve website where you can find answers to your basic questions. We also have support@jazz.co. You can send an email to that email address at any point. We have an awesome support team, very, very responsive and happy to help with any questions that you have. There's a Need Help button on the right side of your screen in the application. You can click on that to find quick answers. We have the question circle, the circle with the question in it, at the top of Jazz as well on every page, so you can easily click that and access that. And I also encourage everyone to attend our monthly deep dive webinars, typically hosted by me and a member of our marketing team, but really a good look into some lesser known functions within the system. We also have a lot of kind of thought leadership webinars that we host, and we have some customers that talk about best practices in Jazz and how they're getting the most out of the system. So keep an eye out for those and definitely get signed up if you see the ability to do so. All right, so let's dive in here. I like to start out just by mentioning to everyone that this is a test account. This is a demo account, so keep in mind that this data is not necessarily real, and we've kind of gone in and just made this up. So we'll take a look at the admin section first and templates. The first template in here is our hiring workflows and really the building blocks of Jazz, the most important function within Jazz. Workflows allow you to build a process that matches your recruiting process in real life. So you can basically create stages and walk candidates through your workflow within Jazz as they're moving through the workflow in real life. So just taking a quick peek here, we'll take a look at the standard workflow that we have in this test account. And you'll see some of the automation that we've created with our workflow template here. You have the ability to automate emails and tasks, as well as interviews and questionnaires. We cover a lot of that in the Starter Admin webinar, but always recommend automating as much as possible to reduce administrative tasks and administrative work. Really saves you a lot of time and effort in sending emails and assigning tasks to your colleagues. So a good example of an automated email is simply a rejection letter to a candidate. Every time you move a candidate into a not hired disposition, a rejection letter is generated and sent to the candidate saying thanks but no thanks. Closes the loop with the candidate, creates a better candidate experience, and also saves you time in having to manually go in and do that. So automation is key. And tasks, a good example of a task is if you're scheduling a phone screen with a candidate and you want to assign a task to one of your colleagues, the hiring manager, a hiring team member, to go ahead and schedule that phone screen. A great way just to kind of serve as a reminder in the system and let your colleagues know that they need to complete a task and schedule a phone screen with the candidate. So workflow is really important. Again, really step one in ensuring your success with Jazz is creating a good workflow and automating as much as possible. Questionnaires, that is the second template that we want to take a look at here. And these can basically be used in two different ways. Number one, you can create a custom questionnaire and attach it to your initial application. So when a candidate applies, you can ask them a custom set of questions and require additional information from the candidate during their application. Secondly, you can actually send questionnaires to candidates post-application. What I mean by that is after a candidate applies, you can send them an additional set of questions to ask for more information from that candidate. And the reason behind this is we basically have a mentality at Jazz that we like to keep the initial application short and sweet, make it so that the candidate has the ability to apply within 5 minutes or so. This is going to attract more candidates, specifically passive candidates that don't require that it doesn't require a lot of time to complete the application. So that's a big benefit in sending this secondary questionnaire post application. Interview templates. We're going to walk through an interview guide today, but this is where you're going to create and store all of your interview templates. These can be housed here and applied to any jobs, any candidates moving forward. You'll see that, and I'll actually demonstrate the flexibility in the interview templates and how you can have very general feedback capturing forms, or you can have very specific feedback as well. So we'll take a deeper dive into that here in just a second. Evaluations, a great way to assess a candidate on a number of different criteria. For example, if we take a look into one here, you'll see that we can easily go in and add an assessment add an assessment field to an evaluation template. We can select from a number of different units of measure, a 1 to 10 scale, strongly disagree, strongly agree, etc. And we can also attach weights onto these responses as well. So we have a weighted scoring system here. So a good idea for using, kind of collaborating with your team and using all of your team together to capture feedback and decide who's ultimately going to be the best fit for the role. Email templates, big time saver here. You have the ability to create templates and, again, apply them to any candidates, any jobs moving forward. You'll see that we have some canned templates that we offer here, including automated replies to candidates. When a candidate replies, they get an automated email, rejection letter, etc. And then you'll see that we've gone in and just created a couple of examples here. Reference check emails. There's a number of different reasons why you would want to create email templates, and again, huge time saver if you do go through and do that. Categories is the next template that we're going to cover, and this is a great way to pipeline your candidates or identify candidates for future positions that you may be hiring for. A good example for that is identifying a candidate as a great future hire. Say a candidate comes in for a Java development role that you're hiring for, and they have a great deal of PHP experience. We can tag them with a PHP category, and 6 months down the line, when we have that PHP opening available, we can actually search for all of our candidates that we've tagged with this PHP developer role. I'm sorry, PHP developer category. So really handy there. The documents section, this is where we're actually going to go to house all of our documents that are going to apply to our candidates. This is a great place to store pre-employment documents, onboarding paperwork such as I-9s, W-4s, employment applications, good option here as well, and also offer templates, which we're going to walk through at the wrapping up our call today. We'll walk through uploading an offer template and actually creating one and sending it to a candidate and requiring an electronic signature on that offer. All right, so moving on from the templates section here, integrations is the next topic we're going to take a look at. And Jazz has, we have a really great partnership with a number of different companies that can help to create efficiencies in your process and ultimately make your lives easier through the recruitment cycle. You'll see the first integration that we offer is a LinkedIn recruiter integration. Really beneficial because this allows you to view LinkedIn profiles right within Jazz. Also, you can send, receive, and track InMail directly inside of Jazz, saving you the need to toggle back and forth between Jazz and LinkedIn. So really handy there. Actually, one of our most widely used integrations, really popular, and yeah, really handy. The next three are HRIS system integrations, Bamboo HR, Namely, and Zenefits. All three offer you the ability to easily move personal data on candidates from Jazz into these HRIS systems. So easily move, name, address, email address, other personal information from Jazz into Namely, for example, with just a click of a button. Easy to connect, to make these connections as well. Two pieces of information will come from the HRIS system, the subdomain and the secret key. This is found directly inside of your HRIS system, so you can easily get that synced up. HackerRank is next, and this is a coding test platform, great for testing engineers, developers, coders on 30 different programming languages and identifying if they're going to have the skill set necessary to fill the role and fill the position needs. SparkHire is our video interviewing platform. Big benefit here is one-way video interviewing. You actually have the ability to create a list of questions and email a list of questions to a candidate. They can then record themselves answering those questions and send it back to you once they've recorded their answers. Big benefit here is a lot of flexibility, not having the need to schedule a mutually beneficial time for both parties. You can basically do it on your own time, set a time frame of 48 hours, something along those lines, and easily get candidates to respond to your questions. Oracle and Sterling Talent, these are our two background check providers. You can sync or integrate with both of these organizations and easily request and maintain all completed background checks right within the candidate's profile. So you get the integration up and running, you request a background check through Oracle, for example. Once it's completed, you get notified in Jazz, and the completed background check is also right there, so you can click on it to view it right inside of Jazz. So you'll see the trend here, the ultimate goal, using Jazz to keep organized and maintain everything within a candidate's profile. Makes it nice and easy for you. Career Builder and Monster, full integrations with both. So you can apply your purchase credits from Career Builder and Monster to your jobs in Jazz. This ensures that all of your candidates are coming into Jazz, into one central location, so you don't have separate buckets of candidates in Monster Career Builder. One login and Google Apps, single sign-on, easy ways to sign into Jazz, pretty straightforward there. And Google and Microsoft Outlook calendar integrations. We do integrate with Google Calendar as well as Microsoft Outlook with Exchange. This is really beneficial, allows you to easily schedule interviews, meetings, events directly through Jazz and view your and your colleagues' availability right inside of Jazz. So saving the need to move back and forth between your calendar platform and Jazz. So those are going to cover the integrations that we offer. If you do have questions, I always recommend reaching out to us on any of these partnerships that we offer. We have great contacts at all of these organizations that can get you more information, walkthroughs, demos, trials of all of these platforms. So feel free to reach out to us, support@jazz.co, and we're happy to put you in contact with some of these folks. All right, we're going to move on to interviews, and we're going to walk through completing an interview guide in the system, show the benefit of keeping your notes and everything organized under the candidate profile, and also taking a collaborative standpoint, working with your team to ultimately decide who's going to be the best fit for the role. So we'll take a look at my personal assistant position, and today we're going to revisit Tyrion Lannister in kind of recognition of Game of Thrones. We're ready for it to come back here in April, so looking forward to that. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to advance Tyrion through the process into the phone screen stage. And just a quick note, we have a screen stage at the beginning of our process where we can actually ask our hiring team members to capture feedback on the candidate. and provide it in the discussion tab. That way we can ultimately decide as a team if we're going to move the candidate to the phone screen stage. So in this case, we are going to move the candidate to the phone screen stage. You're going to see that we have some automation built in where we're going to send an email using the phone screen schedule template to me. That's going to allow me to easily send that out to the candidate. We also have a task that will be assigned here. If our hiring team members have not gone in and completed feedback or captured feedback on the candidate, we're going to reiterate and ask them to do that here. So we'll just select one person and confirm the change. Now, also in moving Tyrion into our phone screen stage, you'll see that we have an interview that pops up here, and it's titled phone screen. So this is where I get on the phone with Tyrion, and I'm going to have this form that I'm going to be able to submit feedback, all of my comments, take all of my notes from the phone screen, and put it directly into Jazz. So two things to note before we jump into the guide. This is clicking this action dropdown is going to allow you to schedule the interview. Also, this is really important, a link to the interview guide. So if I click this link and I copy and paste this, I can send this link to anybody, even folks that don't have access to Jazz, so that they can come into the system and complete an interview guide. They don't have to be users or admins. They don't have to have login credentials. This makes it very simple for them to capture notes and feedback, and then it becomes housed inside of Jazz. So this is really kind of a handy link. So when Tyrion's on the phone, we go ahead and click the Start Interview button, pop up our interview guide, enter our name and our email address, and start the interview. Two things to note here before we start capturing our feedback is if I want to view the candidate's resume, I can do that by clicking the View Resume button. This is the candidate's resume. And I also like to point out the pop-out resume function, which is in the top right here. If I click this button, this pulls up a responsive window with the candidate's resume. So I can easily drag this, say, on the left side of my screen, and then pull my interview guide here on the right. So I can be referring to the candidate's resume here the whole time while I'm capturing my notes and feedback here in the system. So just something to keep note of and something that our customers really enjoy. The View Job Details button is just going to walk through the job responsibilities, requirements, job description, etc. If you need to refer back to that. So as I mentioned earlier in the Templates tab, the flexibility and customization available of these interview templates, you'll see that the first two sections I have here are just pros and cons. Pros, I could say that Tyrion is smart, he's funny and professional. Optionally, I can rate my answers. I recommend doing this because it puts a nice color-coded scheme on the final interview feedback, but this is optional, so you don't necessarily have to do that. Cons, we'll say that Tyrion lacks some experience. And again, capturing all of our pros and cons, we can scroll down and then see that we can be very specific with our question set. Specific behavioral situational questions we can ask of the candidate. You'll see here how many years of experience do you have in television? 3+. Why did you leave your last position? Well, Tyrion was not a fan of his boss, for example. Why do you want to work here? We'll say your company is awesome. Give us an example of a time you made a mistake. So you see kind of the trend here. And the ability, again, the flexibility in creating a set of specific questions or leaving the interview very open and very general. You have the ability to do both here. Last is you can create questions on the fly. If the conversation takes a turn, just type in your question here, select your answer type, and you'll have a question added. When we're done with the interview, we're going to click on the Complete Interview button, assuming that Tyrion is off the phone and we've captured all of our notes. It prompts me to save my answer, all of my answers, which I'm going to do. Then I have the ability to pass or fail the candidate. In this case, we're going to say Tyrion passed the interview, and then we can leave our final comments and notes here. Tyrion was great. Go ahead and click Complete Interview. And I've just completed an interview guide in the system. So this is where the collaboration comes in. You'll see that I now have a completed interview on the date that I completed it. And I have this eyeball here where I can view the details of the interview. So in clicking this, you'll see that this is where the hiring team can, after all the interviews have been completed, hiring team can come in, collaborate and say, okay, this great points here, makes a lot of sense. I agree, I disagree, and ultimately work together as a team to make the right hire for the position. Last thing to note on interviews is in the discussion tab, this is going to house all of your final comments that you leave for the candidate. So you'll see that that last little note I created on Tyrion is going to be housed right here as well. All right, and that is going to be interview guides. You can complete, set up interviews so that you have an interview for each stage of your interview process. If you have a phone screen, first interview, second in-person interview, again, the flexibility is there to build these into your workflow and ultimately capture all of that interview feedback across all of those workflow stages right in the candidate profile. All right, so next we're moving into the Jazz hosted career page, as well as the different website integration options that we have. So the first thing we're going to look at is the hosted careers page. Now, every Jazz account comes with one of these. It is your company name.applytojob.com. In this case, again, a test account here, but you'll see we have our jobs broken out by department. And we've gone in here and we've really customized the look and feel of this. We added a nice logo. You can customize the information on the right side here and created a good branded look and feel for the candidate. So how do you do this? Well, let's walk through it. I'm going to jump back into Jazz and I'm in admin and I'm going to go to job board. Now this first section here is all about the hosted career page. So if I want to edit the look and feel, I'm going to click this purple edit this layout button. The first section here is going to allow me to change colors. So we have a huge color palette. You can easily go in, select your different colors. We also have hex color codes. If your company has specific hex codes that you use, you can just simply type them in and it'll pull up or generate the color here. The next section is the company logo. So this is a great way, again, from a branding perspective, to come in, put a nice company logo in here, create a good professional look for your hosted page. Job board messaging, this is going to show up, jumping back into the hosted page, this is going to show up on the right side here. This is important, good place to talk about the perks or benefits of your company, kind of brag about why folks would want to work for you. This is also a full HTML editor. So you can come in, great place to embed media like pictures and videos so that candidates can get a look into your company. Last but not least, the CSS build out here. You do have the ability to create custom CSS if you have a developer or a coder that can come in and really get customized with the look and feel of your hosted page. I've seen a number of customers change the background images, put animations into the hosted page. Really, the options are very flexible with CSS. One more thing that I want to mention that I kind of passed over is the purpose of this hosted page and kind of when this hosted page comes into effect. So say I'm a candidate and I'm out on Indeed, for example, or one of the other free job boards that we syndicate to, and I'm searching for a personal assistant position in Pittsburgh. I come across this position in Indeed. I click the Apply Now button. It's going to direct me here to this screen. So this is any candidates will get redirected from any kind of syndicated job boards into this hosted page to apply for the job. So that's why you would want it to be, again, professional looking, good look and feel, and a branded experience. So once I'm done customizing, and apologize, back in Jazz now, once I'm done customizing the look and feel, I go ahead and click Save Layout, and that will change the look and feel of my career page. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually linking Jazz to your company career page. How to do that, what are your options for that? Under Admin again in Job Board, inside of Jazz, Scrolling down a little bit, you'll see a section titled Jobs Widget. Now, this is the easiest way to link Jazz to your career page. We have two different options for widgets, the basic and the advanced. Simple line of code. All we do to install this is take this line of script here. We copy and paste it to our developer or our web team, whoever has access to the back end of our career page. They insert this in the career page, and it's basically going to create an iframe within your career page with a live real-time listing of all of your jobs. So the beauty of this is when you open a job in Jazz, it's going to actually automatically display it on your career page. When you close that job or mark it as filled in Jazz, it'll pull it down from your career page automatically. So again, that live real-time link really makes it easy to advertise your positions on your website. So as I mentioned, one-time install for both typically takes a developer 5 to 10 minutes to get this installed onto the career page. And I always like to show a couple of examples of each here. So first, we'll look at a customer of ours, NanoString, and they use our basic widget really well. This is their career page. You see they put a nice picture in here, a little bit of a blurb on the company. And as I scroll down, we're going to get into the actual widget. So everything from accounting and finance down is being auto-populated by the basic widget. If I'm from a candidate perspective, if I'm interested in applying for the accounting manager position, I simply click on View Details, take a look over the job responsibilities, the description, and click Apply Now to apply. The application for the job pops up right here on the career page. There's no redirects. There's no possibility of candidates getting lost. Very simple application process. Great branded experience. Again, it's all being done on your career page. So very, very easy from a candidate perspective. The advanced widget is, we're going to take a look at that next. And customer of ours, Seguiza, they have a really awesome career page. You'll see they've done a lot of customization here with images. They have an embedded video that you can watch, some cool little icons here. And scrolling down, you're going to see the actual advanced widget. So the advanced widget is everything from this light gray box and down. And the benefit of this is the ability to search and filter your jobs. Good example here is, say I'm looking only for positions in California, and you'll see that Seguiza is a global company. They have positions all around the world. I can click on my advanced search. I can search only for one location. Say I'm interested in positions in California. I go ahead and search my jobs. There are no positions available at this time. If I'm interested in, let's see here. Let's say I'm only interested in positions in Illinois. I'll go ahead and select Illinois, and that's going to narrow my search results to only open jobs in Illinois. So HR manager, I go ahead and click that link, and I go ahead and apply now. Again, everything done on the career page, good branded look and feel, and no redirects for the candidate to get lost. So this is our easiest integration option with Jazz and your career page. We do also have open XML feeds, RSS feeds, and API feeds. This allows for really full flexibility and full customization of the career page. It's basically starting from scratch and using our feed to build out your own career page. This is going to require a lot more development effort. So that's a little bit of a lesser used option amongst our customers, but the option is there to fully customize it with our feeds. Two things to note here under the job boards section is if we want to change the sort order of our jobs, we can do that here in the way they're displayed. And if we want to update our social media image, which I always recommend doing this. So Jazz, we make it very simple to share your positions out on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. And if you put an image here or upload a company logo, it's going to create that good branded professional look when you are sharing your jobs out on LinkedIn, for example. So always recommend uploading an image here. Cool. So that's going to do it for career page options. The next section, and second to last, that we're going to take a look at is reports. One of my favorite sections within Jazz. I really, over my time here with the company, I've really understood the importance of taking data and recruiting metrics and reporting it to your managers, your executives, etc. So I've spent a lot of time on reports, and really like talking about them and sharing some of the really beneficial reports available in the system. So 3 key areas of reports. You have standard reports here, legacy reports, and the ability to create a custom report here. First thing we're going to look at is some standard reports and talk about the benefits of each. If we start with source quality, this is going to tell us where our candidates are coming from. Pretty straightforward, really, but you'll see I can sort and see exactly where my candidates are coming from. This is great for budgeting purposes and where to allocate spend. If you do have a budget, this will help you to point where to kind of spend that money and find the best candidates. Taking a step back, just a few things to note about all of our reports is we have built-in Sherpa text or helper text everywhere where you can simply just hover over items, any kind of eye icons to see exactly what we're looking at. If you hover over column headers, it's also going to tell you exactly what you're looking at here. You have the ability to save reports as a favorite at any time by clicking the heart, which I'm going to show you here in just a second with a custom report. We can export everything to CSV, which is really my preference. Again, this is personal preference. You can sort and filter in Jazz, but I tend to think it's a little bit simpler to put it into kind of a spreadsheet format and filter it that way. You'll see also that we have a number of different filters built in, so we can change date filters, source filters, etc. And again, the overall source where our candidates are coming from, Indeed, is giving us the most applicants at 28. We've hired 2 of those candidates and not hired 10. So the other 16 are going to be in an active workflow stage at this time. Next report I like to peek at is the application conversion report, one of my favorites. This is going to tell you exactly how many candidates or people viewed your position, your job online, and out of those views, how many candidates actually applied. So my personal assistant role has been viewed 72 times. 25 people who viewed it actually applied for it, which gives us a conversion rate here of 35%. Pretty good, and a good goal setting report. I mentioned earlier, brag about your company, talk about the perks and benefits, and try to increase the conversion rate with a little bit more appealing job description and company description. Hiring pipeline by job is going to give us really good information. How are the candidates moving through the process? Where are they falling off? How many are moving through each milestone within our recruiting process? So 27 applicants for my personal assistant role. We've actually advanced 25 into an active stage. We interviewed 19. We made 21 offers and hired 8 candidates, not hired 10. So good information. Again, where are the candidates falling off? Interviews and offers, pretty straightforward here, but interviews are going to tell you the number of interview guides completed for each position and whether they're phone interviews or in-person interviews. Offer letters or offers report going to tell you how many offer letters were created, accepted, rejected, and still outstanding. So good information here, and definitely something I recommend using if you're using our interviews and offers feature. The last standard report I want to cover, and really probably the most widely used, or the second most widely used report amongst our customers, is this time to hire report. So this is going to tell us how long it's taking from the candidate application to when we're actually marking them as hired in the system. Very important information here. We want to reduce time to hire as much as possible, preventing candidates from being or accepting other positions or being poached by another company. We really want to make sure that our time to hire is low, and this is going to be, again, a good goal setting report. If your current time to hire is, say, for example, it's 60 days, and we want to narrow that down or reduce that to 30 days, what steps are we going to take internally to reduce any kind of bottlenecks and ensure that we're hiring our candidates very quickly? So really good information here. Legacy reports are some of our, we call them legacy reports. They're not going anywhere, but they're just some of the older reports that we had in our first iteration of reporting. Two that I like to cover. The first is candidate records data download. This is awesome because it's just a raw export of all of your candidate information in the system. So if you're an Excel guru like myself, you can take this out into Excel. We can get every piece of information on every candidate in the system. Date applied date, source, what makes them unique, any categories that are attached to them. We even get into salary information and EEO information. So really, really great data can be pulled from here. And I always recommend using this report as much as possible. Compliance is next. Hires by race, gender. Where are my candidates coming from? What are the diversity? What does the diversity look like for my candidates? Really, really good information here. And for example, I'll just pull a quick report on hires by race and sex, and you'll see that number of males versus females, and then also race and ethnicity here as well. So a nice, easy to see chart graph, and also exportable to CSV. Makes it very, very simple. Excellent. So the last topic I want to cover in reports is a custom report, and walk through building one real quick. This is really powerful because it gives you the ability to pick and choose exactly what you want to see in a report. So as I'm going through here, I'm just going to, just for example's sake, pick some columns that we can select and put in the report. We'll say first name, last name, email. We'll take a look at the date the candidate applied and the source the candidate came from. We'll take a peek into the workflow status, where they currently stand in the process, and we'll look at the job title as well. You'll notice on the right side here, we can easily click, hold, and drag to reorder. We can click the X to delete columns. When we're ready to generate our report, we generate the report. Jazz works its magic behind the scenes, and here's our information. So a few things to note before we show saving a report as a favorite. We have a number of requests or folks asking, well, I need to run a bi-weekly candidate report on all the candidates that come into the system. So built-in filters in Jazz actually allow you to do that by selecting the filter, selecting the date range, and then applying a date range to your candidate application date. So in this case, we'll just say we want everyone who applied between November 1st and November 15th. Actually, I'm going to move this back to October 1st. Set the range, apply the changes, and there's all of my candidates that have applied between October 1st and now. So saving reports as a favorite and creating what I like to call an on-demand report is something that's also really helpful. If I click on the heart here to save this report as a favorite, and I call this the bi-weekly candidate report, I can save this as a favorite. I'm going to jump back into my main reports section, and you'll see that now under my favorite reports, I have this bi-weekly candidate report. I can click on this. It's going to automatically run all of the columns that I've selected in that report previously and produce this nice updated report for me. So again, really important in having a recurring report or a report that you're running in a set interval. This is a great way to do that and create an on-demand report. Last thing to note is exporting to CSV is very simple. Click on the action drop-down and export to CSV. If we want to edit our columns, we can also do that here, add in some additional columns or delete them. So a lot of flexibility, really, really robust functionality here with our custom reports. Definitely recommend sandboxing and kind of playing around with reports. There's nothing that can really go wrong, or you can't really break anything, so to speak, in our reports. So again, recommend coming in and playing around and seeing what reports are going to be most beneficial for your company and your team. All right, last section. Stick with me, folks. We've got offers and e-signatures. First thing I want to just kind of walk through is uploading an offer letter into the system. So you'll see here we have some offer letters already uploaded, but in order to actually upload a new offer letter, I'm going to click on New Document. I'm going to create an offer template. I'm going to choose that file from my computer, and I'm going to rename it and upload the offer template. Now, again, I have some already preloaded in here, but the one thing I like to point out is this Download Fields Template button. This is really going to be helpful in helping to assisting you with populating information automatically from candidates, from jobs, etc. So you'll see here that this, oh, of course, I'm checking for updates. Apologize for that. But you'll see here that these token fields can actually be copied and pasted into our offer template so that it pulls information automatically from Jazz when we're creating the offer letter. Something that I'm going to show you here in just a second. But we have a lot of great token fields that you can use. Again, saving you a lot of time in having to type this information in every time. So let's jump into, just take a quick peek at our offer template that we've created here. We'll look at the Jazz Webinars offer template. And you'll see here, this is just something that we went in and created quickly. But all of the token fields that we've updated or added in here are going to be automatically populated as we create our offer letter. So just wanted to point that out real quick, and now we can go ahead and walk through creating an actual offer in the system. So I'm going to jump back into my personal assistant role. I'm going to look at all my candidates and phone screen and jump to Tyrion. And we're going to assume that Tyrion has gone through all of these stages of the workflow. We've completed the in-person interviews. And I'll actually do this. And Tyrion's now ready to be sent an offer letter. We're ready to create an offer and send an offer to Tyrion. Again, you'll see all the automation that we have in line here. So definitely recommend doing that. But when we're ready to create the offer, we're going to go ahead and go to our Documents tab. We're going to click on Add Offer. We'll just call this Tyrion L offer. We will select our template that we have already uploaded into the system, and we can actually change the visibility, who can see this offer letter. In this case, we'll allow everyone to see it, and we'll save and continue. So now we're going to walk through actually adding in all of our template information and completing the offer template. The offer valid date, and again, just for the purpose of this example, I'm just going to walk through these quickly, but anything with a green box is going to be a token field that we're going to want to fill out so that the token information is populated in the offer letter. So just going to walk through here quickly. And you'll see it gets very, our token fields are pretty granular. Stock options, bonus structure, how often you're paid, sick days, PTO. So a lot of really good fields are available here. Once I have all my information updated, I save my offer. I can review all the offer information here. Once it looks good, I go ahead and generate my offer letter. I'm going to refer to it again as Tyrion L offer. Everyone can see it, and we'll generate it. So let's take a peek into the document that's created automatically through Jazz, and you'll see here that those token fields that I had in earlier are going to pull all of my information. So the position title, candidate first name, salary, all that information is now populated in my offer letter. So again, eliminating or reducing, I should say, human error is really a benefit of the token fields. And then just saving you time and administrative work of typing all this information in. All right, so now I've got my offer letter created. I want to send it to the candidate and ask that the candidate sign it electronically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an e-document. Again, I'm going to call this Tyrion L offer. going to go ahead and add my documents. You can select multiple. In this case, I'm just going to select the TRNL offer and add documents. Allow everyone to see it. And section 4 here is really neat. It allows you to add multiple signers. So a good example, if you have a hiring manager who's also going to be involved in the signing process, you can add them here so that they can sign after the candidate does. So in this case, I'll ask that Michael Jones, our HR manager, signs this as well. CC, you can add a carbon copy on here to basically make it easy to keep people in the loop, but not ask them to actually fill out any information. I go ahead and compose an email subject and message body that's going to be contained in the email that's sent to the candidate. Good example, please sign the following offer. Again, for example's sake, I'm just going to keep it pretty general, but this is flexible and you can customize it however you'd like. Last but not least, I'm going to select yes here because this is an offer letter and I do want to track it for reporting purposes. So I'm going to select yes here so that we get good, accurate reporting data. Last step is I go ahead and click Assign Fields and Send. And this is really where the magic happens, the ability to add in signature fields, date fields, you can ask for initials, etc. But you'll see the options that I can select here. And as I scroll down to the bottom, I'm going to click, hold, and drag signature. I'm going to ask that Tyrion sign here. I'm going to assign another signature field here. And I'm going to ask Michael Jones sign this one. I'm going to put signature dates in here as well. So that way, once the document's been signed by each party, our date will automatically populate. And then if you have, initial boxes, if you want to put initials in here, you can do that as well. But again, really flexible in the way we can build out the look and feel of our offer templates. So once I'm ready, I've got all of my fields created and put in here. I go ahead and click continue. This is going to generate and send the email to the candidate, asking them to review and sign the offer letter. We do have a live progress indicator in here showing us exactly what the status is. You'll see two question marks here. Once the candidate and Michael Jones sign, it'll be 2 check marks. Once the candidate has reviewed and signed, we can then move the candidate into a hired full-time position. And we've now hired Tyrion Lannister. So a lot of flexibility in offers and e-signatures, and keep in mind too that e-signatures can be used for any document. Again, W-4s, I-9s. If you have non-disclosures, employee handbooks, there's a whole number of different reasons and use cases for e-signatures. So if you have any questions, again, I encourage you to reach out to our team. All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for the Advanced Administrator webinar today. Again, thank you all for attending. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Feel free to reach out to our team at any point. Support@jazz.co is the best way to reach out to us, and use our self-help tools as well. Quick reminder, the circle with the question mark here at the top of your screen. Also, the need help bar on the right side. Great places to find answers to your more basic questions. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and I hope to talk to everybody soon.